Well, digital contracts, they're becoming more common for farmers and ranchers. And today, while it brings more convenience to many agreements in agriculture, it also opens the door to some unique legal issues that might arise. Roger McEowen with the Washburn School of Law joins us now for some of these issues. Roger, as always, a pleasure. So let's start with some of the basics when it comes to digital contracts. What do we need to know here?
Well, good to be with you, Suzanne. We are seeing, I think, more ag transactions take place online. We're buying machinery online. We have online auctions for all types of equipment, for example, and even real estate is ag land is bought and sold online with online auctions. And contracts result from those transactions. And so the basic point here is that your same principles apply to digital contracts that apply to all contracts. You have to have an offer, you have to have an acceptance of that offer, and you have to have some type of value that's given, call that consideration. And in general, there also has to be what we call a meeting of the minds as to the core contract terms. And so the question is, how do those elements work out? How do they shake out when we're talking about digital contracts?
What potential legal issues then would arise in these kind of situations? Do you have any examples that maybe you've seen or dealt with yourself?
Well, we still kind of get some of the same legal issues. For starters, any offer should include definite terms, and vague terms are going to be construed against the party that provides the contract, that offers the contract. So make sure you know what you're signing, whether it's paper or whether it's digital. And in addition, the acceptance must mirror the offer. Any change in the terms means no deal until the original offeror accepts those terms. So be careful with a digital contract when you just click to accept the terms. Make sure you know what you're accepting.
You would think, right? With digital, it makes life easier, but sometimes it can be a little complicated. And also, too, I've heard some people say sometimes these can be really lengthy or maybe overly complex. So advice for producers.
Well, I want to make sure producers are like you, Suzanne, and you make sure that you always go through that lengthy contract and read it word for word and circle things that you're unclear of. I'm sure that you do that. But with a digital contract, the consideration or the amount that is given can create an issue. What if there's a free trial use period that's allowed online? For example, could you sue a free online service provider when the product doesn't work as promised? And I don't think so, because it's free. You didn't offer any amount. There's no consideration that's involved. And make sure you read that digital contract. It's easy for that offer and acceptance and consideration to get buried in that fine print of the language that goes on and on. And you have to have a meeting of the minds. That's the last point I would make. There was a famous Virginia case back in the 1950s, and of course it wasn't digital, but a farm was inadvertently sold based on a deal that was written out on the back of a restaurant check, and the guy lost his farm because of that.
I remember you telling us that. Boy, scary stuff, right? Hey, I know you've got to go, but before I do let you go, I understand that you have a very special shout out to make.
Well, I have a sister that has a birthday today, and so Juanita back in Indiana, happy birthday to you.
Aw, happy birthday. I hope she has an incredible day. Roger, thank you so much, as always, for being here. Roger McEowen with the Washburn School of Law.